Okay, so today a lot of news in the Las Vegas short-term rental market, Airbnb, but we use the term short-term rental because Airbnb is just one brand of many. All right, so the short-term rental market in Vegas, the big change today was Clark County is set to Airbnb. Starting September 1, you've got to take off every short-term rental that does not have a license. And there are thousands of properties on Airbnb in Clark County without a license. So what do you do? That's the question. Now, let's do a quick recap for those who don't know. The Las Vegas Valley is made up of four entities that issue short-term rental permits, right? First with Finney Henderson, they're the most advanced. They work well with Airbnb. I don't have to do anything with them with taxes. Airbnb and VRBO, they actually pay directly taxes to Henderson. You cannot list a property in Airbnb unless you have a permit. They check it. They work together. They issue permits. They have noise enforcement. They have inspections. We do them all the time. We have a lot of properties there. It's easy, right? It's predictable. Better way of putting it. Now, the North Las Vegas is pretty much the same. It's a little bit less advanced, but straightforward. They issue permits. We do have to pay them taxes. Is what the part that's annoying, but eventually they'll probably figure that out. We have to pay them taxes directly, but other than that, they have a process. It's straightforward. It's understandable, predictable. The city of Las Vegas, which if you don't know Vegas, is north of the Strip. So directly north of the Strip, all the way to the northwest quadrant of the valley is the city of Las Vegas itself. That is, it's just a ban unless you live in the property and you get some other rules you have to follow. You can't really get a permit. So it's really basically a ban because most people are not going to live in a property and make it a short-term rental anymore. So that leaves Clark County, which is the second largest overall area in the valley, unincorporated Clark County. So we're talking not part of any city, it's just part of the county. That is where the Strip is. That is where UNLV is. The airport is. The Legion Stadium. Pretty much everything that tourists come to Vegas for is in unincorporated Clark County. So as a result, that's the most desirable place to be for short-term rental. They have been the most challenged with issuing permits for a long odyssey. I want to say 3 years ago now, they rolled out a plan to issue licenses or to accept applications for licenses. It took a year and a half for them to actually create a deadline to where, okay, this is our initial grouping. It was over 1,200 people, I believe 1,300 people applied. If you didn't apply before August 2023, 1 year from now, 2025, August 2023, you could not apply after that. So all these 1,300 people show that applied before August 2023. It went 2 years later, and they've issued about less than 300 permits have been issued. Why does it take 2 years to do that? I have absolutely no idea, no clue. We have several properties that have been permitted that we manage, which is great, but several other ones where they got denied because of whatever issue, or they were back. The situation now is, okay, they're saying Clark County, we want you to take all of our short-term rentals, they're done permit off, but we're not issuing permits. We do it very slowly, and we have no plan to actually issue more permits, even though state law says you have to. Why? Nobody knows. There's no good answer. The real answer is that they don't want to do it because Clark County is run by the casinos. It's huge casinos, and they don't want to issue permits. It's just that simple. There's a reason why Henderson did it first, because Henderson doesn't have any major casinos in it. It's locals. And North Las Vegas, again, so there's something common that the two places that issue them do not have massive mega resorts that will be really affected by it. I mean, Clark County has more money than everybody. They've got more staff than them. They have no excuse. It takes 2 years to issue 200 some permits and to have no plan. So Airbnb today, the news of the day is Airbnb, okay, so we're going to enter a lawsuit against Clark County, joining some existing lawsuits with the GOV STRA, which is a short-term rental association locally, a short-term rental owners association locally, excuse me. If you look globally, you follow Airbnb, regulatory issues are a problem globally. They prefer to find a solution not to go into lawsuits. Obviously, it's not anyone's best interest to do that. So if Airbnb is suing you, that tells you that they've really exhausted all possibilities of a orderly process to this. So now the point of this video is really to answer the question I've gotten 4 times in the last 3 hours, right? Which is, what do I do now? I don't know yet. We will know soon. Airbnb has sent out a second email after the first one they sent out saying that we're suing Clark County. The second email sent out was, okay, if you believe you're exempt, you have to tell us you're exempt and why, or your property will be converted to 31-day minimum stay after September 1st, which essentially means it'll be banned from short-term rentals. Now, the leak of that doesn't make any sense. So I don't think they've got that ironed out yet. They rushed it a little bit because if you click the link, it doesn't actually give you the option to put in your license number. Like they actually have licensed properties, you can't even enter in a license. So I think they missed something there. They probably were rushing it and they'll get it figured out. What I think is going to happen, because again, with the exception of maybe a couple of tiny victories, there really have been no victories over Clark County. I think that there's a pretty good chance on September 1 that thousands of properties will be taken off of Airbnb in Clark County. So I think it's going to happen, right? How many thousands? I don't know. Could be 2,000, could be 5,000, could be 10,000. I don't know. But there'll be a lot of properties. And if they're trying to get an injunction to prevent that from happening, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But if it doesn't happen, then if you have a property and you in Clark County and you have a short-term rental permit, you'll be fine, right? Again, but there's an issue in Airbnb where I'm not sure how you're supposed to tell you have a license. There's no in the city of Henderson, you can just put it into a field. There is no field in Clark County, so that needs to be fixed. I certainly hope it'll be fixed. So if you have a permit, you should be fine. If you're one of the vast majority of people, quite frankly, who do not have a permit in Clark County and a short-term rental operation, I'm going to tell you what I was told yesterday or last week and a year ago. You're going to shut down eventually. And why? Because they've been on a tear of shutting down properties for the last year, basically, and long before this. They've got much better at it, and it's just a matter of time. But you guys decide how you want to handle that. If you want to have an unpermitted short-term rental in Clark County, you'll be shut down. Or if you're lucky, at some point they will issue permits again, which would be nice. I don't understand why they're not doing it already or a long time ago, but at some point, in theory, they're going to start issuing new permits. And if you're not in HOA or that forbids it, and you're not within, you don't have somebody else very close to you, you should be able to apply and in theory get a permit subject to rules. And you can message me about what the rules if you want to know about what those are. Now, if you cannot get a permit and for whatever reason you don't qualify, you don't have a permit now, and you get shut down on September 1, your real option, then you got to look at plan B. And frankly, you should already have a plan B if you're in that scenario. This should not be the first time you're thinking about this. If you are, then you're really behind on the news because this is not a new problem. So your plan B, what I have my clients look at when they are considering buying a short-term rental in Clark County, because you have no way of knowing when or if you get a license. You always buy it with the plan of a midterm rental, meaning you rent it out for 31 days or longer, or you make it a furnished long-term rental. If you're into furniture, that's a good option. Or if the furniture is not worth a lot and you don't really need it, or you can get rid of it, then just get rid of the furniture, make it a long-term rental. And it doesn't preclude you from getting a license later, by the way. So if you get lucky in 6 months and you can get a license, you can always get the license, get the permit, and convert it to a short-term rental again. But you need a plan B. Or you can also sell the property, obviously, it's always an option too. The market is picking up a little bit now, I think, on the selling side. So those are options. If you want a game plan, just message me. I'm happy to help. But not good news for sure. But I also will point out that if you have a permit or if you can get a permit, really anywhere in the valley, it might be good news for you because there's a good chance you have a lot less competition pretty soon. So I guess it's not silver lining because we have a lot of clients all throughout the valley who have permits and may benefit from the lack of competition. But I don't think it's good for homeowners in general. I don't think it's good for investors who want to get into the market. Right now, I don't think it's good it's obviously not good for tourists. Tourists, if they want to come to Vegas, they want to get a good value. And the short-term rentals are great. I stay in worldwide because I like space and I like value. And I don't need chocolates for the pillows. I don't think it's good. But again, there's a fight going on. Airbnb is in the fight now, that is good news because obviously they have money and the crowd to fight. But I don't know if they're going to win. Clark County's got a lot of money as well. And I guess we'll find out. They do.